Welcome! We're gonna be doing something new today, and hopefully more often in the future, race highlights. And we're starting off with the RTO Championship finale a couple weeks ago. So let me tell you what's happening. We got off to a decent start, but I have to slow down in Eau Rouge because of the Porsche coming across our front. And we now have a car on the inside trying to come through, so I go extra wide on the exit to stay safe. And look at that, already lost the position. But now it's slipstream time, and you know what that means? That's right, 3 wide into Lecombe, baby. Me on the very outside, of course. Now, we all know that's not gonna work out, and someone's gotta die, and guess who it is? Surprise, not me! It's the Porsche on the inside. Now, the Lambo of Knopek briefly tries to challenge me for position, but I managed to hold on around the outside of Malmedy. Skipping forwards, we're on lap 2, and Watts in P2 is fighting with High for the race lead. Does indeed get past into Lecombe, which prompts me to try to get in on the fun and take the inside for Malmedy, which prompts my car to say fuck no, oversteer time. Actually kinda lucky I didn't go into the side of High on correction. Now speaking of, we're about to launch a little send up his inside. Was it aggressive? Sure. Could it have worked out? Certainly. But for this sort of stuff your opponent has to play along, so here I am, crawling on the side of the road, dropping down to P9. Time for a recovery drive. And that went surprisingly well, already getting past P8 on the next lap, getting a better run through Eau Rouge. Same lap Franzen actually said, fuck this, you go past me, I don't want to fight you, which I really appreciate, except he was indicating in the wrong direction, and he's not even a BMW driver. Next up, a BMW driver. That was pretty easy, though it took me a second to figure out which way he was gonna spin. 1 lap later, it gets interesting. Briefly thought, are they gonna go too wide through Eau Rouge? They can't, they're gonna die. And indeed, they played it safe and fell into single file. But guess what? They still died. At least one of them did, and the other slowed down in sympathy. And look at that, P4. And very soon P3, as King goes deep into Bruxelles. Only 1 more to go until I could start chasing P1, and in my way stood the Porsche I had a little coming together with earlier. But this time, it all went smoothly, with a little slipstream on the Camel Straight and the inside line into Lecombe. Actually, 1 more Porsche stood in my way, and that was the one that got kicked into the wall on lap 1, letting out the frustration by actually putting up quite a fight despite being blue flagged, but I couldn't be too mad since it was pretty fun. And as you can see, it all went dark suddenly, the clouds came out, and we all thought it was gonna start raining, but apparently it was just a prank. A few laps later, it's time for the first of 2 mandatory pit stops, getting very close to the inside wall, but don't worry, I couldn't possibly get a little too close at some point in a different race. Anyway, welcome to the world's longest pit lane, which might not even be an over-dramatization. I'll have to look that up. Entered the pits with a 3.8 second gap to Watts, left with 3.3, so not a bad stop at all. And soon after, it was time for the fight, and it was a good one. Solid defense from Watts into Lecombe. I thought for a split second I could profit from his little slide in Malmedy, but that was not to be. Same goes for the attempted switchback as he breaks a little too deep into the first part of the bus stop chicane. Now he's strong coming out of the corners, but I do manage to go side by side with him, coming down the start-finish straight. The outside around La Source is of course not a great way to get past, but it's worth a shot. No luck though. So why don't we try the same shit again on the next lap, this time with me taking the outside into the bus stop chicane and, once again, ending up on the outside for La Source as we go for a little drag race down the start-finish straight. And exit of La Source, same result. But on the 4th lap of this dance, I finally made it stick with a beautiful run through Eau Rouge and just a tiny little bit of slipstream. And in a second you'll see Watts slot in behind me in the mirror. So only the final mandatory pit stop left. And after a perfect final stint I came across the line with an 11-second lead to win not only the race but also the championship. And you better believe I did donuts until my rear left tire blew up. If you want to see more of this type of stuff, check out my Twitch channel in the description. See ya!